Red Voyage News, splashing the check-in. Thank you for tuning in. I have an article right here brought to you by CNN.com. At least 10 people injured in stabbings on Tokyo train. Right when I read this headline, I said to myself, there was an incident that happened just like this a couple years ago. And the same thing happened where a guy was wielding a knife and he wanted to stab every woman that he saw walking along in the street. And I thought about this before I read this article, before I read the details in this article. Sure enough, same thing. It says right here, according to Japan's public broadcaster NHK, the suspect walked to a convenience store and turned himself in, saying to the clerk, "I am the suspect of the crime that's playing in the news right now. I'm tired of running." Tokyo Metropolitan Police say the man admitted the charge and confessed he just wanted to kill any women who looked happy. Anyone. The suspect appears to be in his 30s, and the store clerk said he had bloodstains on a part of his body. So this doesn't happen too often in Japan. Like, Japan is one of the most safest countries in the world. Literally, like, the city of Tokyo, I think, is either number one or top 5 for the most safest city in the world. I actually just Googled it. I paused the video for a second and I Googled it, and Tokyo's number 1, most safest city in the world. So when stuff like this happens, it doesn't happen too often, but when it does, well, you have, somebody running onto a train, wielding a knife, stabbing a bunch of people. Usually it's a man stabbing a bunch of women. And you have a lot of hikikomoris in Japan, people that are socially awkward. They don't have a significant other. They're lonely. They don't like stepping out into the world. They don't like dealing with the program of society. They just don't like playing the game. And at one point in time, they did play the game early on in life. And they felt, okay, I got rejected every single time. Every time I approached a woman, I got rejected. When I was in a relationship and I thought that it was going somewhere, she left me for somebody else. She left me for a foreigner. My boss is very rude and disrespectful to me. I have bills, up to my neck. Some of them, they don't have any friends. All they pretty much do is stay at home and watch anime all day. They read mangas. I mean, I need to do an entire special on this. And I'm not saying this to sound stereotypical, like, oh, Japanese people are watching anime, reading mangas. No, like, there's literally a documentary special on this on YouTube talking about this. I actually did a video about hikikomoris years ago on my other channel. So I know what I'm talking about. You got a lot of men who, like, when stuff like this happen and the person wielding a knife is a man, usually they're stabbing women. They're virgins. They aren't able to, lock in on a date with women. And if they do go on a date, it doesn't go past the first date. They're not able to schedule a second date with the women. They never had sex before. It's stuff like this. They walk around Japan and they see Japanese women with Japanese men holding hands, kicking cans. They see Japanese women with foreigners, and they're like, okay, damn, all these men and all these foreigners, even the foreigners, get women over me. And they're like, what's wrong with me? I work hard. I'm educated. And, the birth rate is in the negatives in Japan. It's like Japanese people on the brink of extinction at the rate they're going with their birth rate. You can look it up. Their birth rate is in the negatives. And it's kind of like, man, with our birth rate in the negatives, why wouldn't a woman want to get with me and procreate with me? And since they feel like they can't get that, and everything else in the world is just falling apart, it's just crumbling. They feel like, okay, I'm gonna just, since I'm suffering, I'm gonna make all the other women suffer. I'm gonna just make women in general suffer. It doesn't matter who. They said that 10 people injured in stabbings. Nobody died, thank God. And it reported that the suspect appeared to be in his 30s. So it was like, man, my 20s were a waste. And he's probably approaching 40. And in his mind, he's like, man, what woman out here would want me in my 40s? So anyways, if you like the content that I'm posting up on this YouTube channel, if you want to make a donation, click the link in the description box below. Head over to my buymeacoffee.com page. It's similar to Patreon. Hover over the support tab and quote unquote, buy me a coffee, which means make a donation. If you would like to become a member and see videos, exclusive videos that I have posted on my buymeacoffee.com page, you can become a member, $8 a month. All right. I'll catch you guys on the next video. I'm over and I'm out. Peace.